Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are now listening to Rob and Rat's World of Wonder podcast. So sit back, relax, and prepare your ears as they take you on a journey of all things weird and wonderful.
Cheers, mate.
All right, you're tuned to the Rob Rat podcast.
This is episode 6. It is episode 6.
I think it's episode 6. Yeah, I'm Rob,
I'm Rats.
and you're very welcome along. Thank you to anybody who's listening in for the first time. You're very welcome. We do a podcast. We call it the World of Wonder, where we look at things around the world that are wonderful.
That we investigate and look into different things, hoaxes, myths, legends, everything.
Paranormal, aliens. We're covering all sorts of stuff, really.
Can I just say one thing
You
just
can
on Mick very quickly? I know I don't want to go on about him too much.
This is Mick, our voiceover guy.
Yeah, but
you heard him at the start.
once people hear this, they won't be able to unhear it, even if you rewind it and just the way he says podcast.
Yeah, the podcast.
Podcast. I
Yeah.
just find that hilarious. Go on.
Okay, carry on.
Sorry.
Sorry for insulting you, Mick. Mick's, anyway, where was I? Yeah, so this episode we're going to look at paranormal investigations.
Yes.
Right, okay, but before we do that, we'll give out our social media and stuff like that. We're available on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify. So if you're listening in on any of those accounts, could you please give us an out, subscribe, give us a good star rating, and because the more ratings we get, the higher up on the list we get on the podcast.
That just really helps.
It helps people to find us. The more, and so if you get onto our social media, you get us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you search the Rob Rat podcast, you should find us.
Yeah, exactly. So episode 6.
Episode 6. Before we do that, have we got any weird, wonderful news? You got anything to talk about?
We'll hit the news.
We'll hit the news. Mick, get in here.
Rob and Rat's Weird and Wonderful News.
So it's the news section of the podcast.
Yeah, so in this podcast section, or the section of the podcast, we kind of look at weird and wonderful news from around the world, just to kind of give you a bit of a break from listening to the old normal
standard
news.
episode, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like
from the normal news, you flick on the telly or the radio, and it's all kind of depressing and down. We just kind of give you the more lighter, hearted, upbeat sort of news. That's the idea, anyway.
It isn't always upbeat.
No, not always. So I'm going to start this week. So there's a guy called Joey Chestnut. And, Joey Chestnut, yeah. And he's a real bloody chestnut. But so he is a competitive eater. And he likes to eat. He eats a lot, okay?
Does he have his own YouTube channel, right?
I presume so. I'm not really sure. But it's a guarantee he does. Who doesn't these days? We should probably get our own YouTube channel, should we?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you have your own YouTube channel.
I do, yeah.
Alright, okay. Anyway, moving on swiftly. Didn't want to talk about that. So, Chestnut, so he's a major league eating #1 glutton. So he devoured 413 chicken wings in 12 hours in a mall in Georgia in America. So Hooters do like a special on a Monday. It's $15.99 for all you can eat. But they did not expect Joey Chestnut to walk in there and stay. So they came in the morning time when they opened, and he stayed for 12 hours until they closed. Eating. And he had 413 chicken wings. So by 10 to 6 in the evening, he'd eaten 250 chicken wings. And that's the kind of most anyone ever eaten in there. And he got a t-shirt presented to him. But he decided to keep on going for another several hours, and he ended up eating 413.
Like, did he do this for a record attempt or something?
Well, he does it anyway. He's a competitive eater. So he won his 12th hot dog eating contest in July 4th. So he's a record holder. So he's eaten 74 hot dogs, including the buns, in 10 minutes.
Jeez, like that cannot be good for you.
It cannot be good. You can imagine his insides, like after that. You feel sick, and hot dog. And these wings are kind of spicy wings as well.
Remember that TV show Man vs. Food?
Yeah,
where he was a competitive eater. But that things that anytime I hear stories like that, it does make me hungry though.
Yeah, some of those burgers and stuff he used to eat were massive.
Yeah, massive. Couldn't even get your mouth on.
Anyway, so that's Joey Chestnut, and he's also known for taking. He does like exercises and stuff like that. He holds weights in his mouth and stuff like that. He's got a strange he's got a strange ability to kind of do things with his mouth.
Jesus.
Yeah. Okay.
Fair play to him.
Yeah, come on, Joey. That's some upbeat news.
It's got some chestnuts on him.
Oh. So have you ever seen like those child stars? Like years ago they used to come from the Disney Club and all that. On telly. Well, now YouTube has given like a whole new kind of world for children to become famous, right? So there is a Korean girl. She's 6 years of age. Her name is Boram, and she is the Korean Boram.
Okay.
Boraam.
Okay.
Boram, and she is from South Korea, and she is the country's most popular YouTuber. She's got 2 channels, and she video blogs. Basically, she reviews toys. Okay.
Oh yeah.
She's got more than 30 million subscribers.
Gosh.
of people who come and watch a review. But anyway, she has gone and she has bought herself her first house. This is a 6-year-old.
6 years old.
And it's 6.5 million pounds the property is valued at. So this is like...
That's amazing.
Well, it's her and her parents. They've gone and bought the house.
Yeah.
So anyway, but so it may sound like a lot of money for a youngster, but it's estimated that she earns 2.4 million a month.
That is crazy.
Through her YouTube channel.
But
So she reviews toys, and obviously toy companies are giving her toys.
She gets toys for nothing.
She gets toys for nothing.
They throw toys at her to make videos.
I wouldn't. Well, that's not actually what the videos are. That would be an interesting one. It's just the child get. Yeah. It's like that. You see when they were throwing like easy singles, you know, the bits of cheese on children's faces. Have you seen that?
No.
It was a bit of a craze there recently. You get like that kind of like slice of cheese. We call them easy singles. I don't know what you call them elsewhere.
Bendy cheese.
Yeah, it's really processed stuff. You kind of unwrap them, but they're really sticky. And they're kind of like a little, like it's a square of cheese. And it became a thing where people are like, it'd be babies sitting in like high chairs.
Have you? Yeah.
And parents kind of like can lob it and kind of it'll land on the child's head. A lot of the child is crying and they throw it and it just sticks to the child's face and it's watching it taking off. I think it started off, people were doing it with cats or dogs and then upgraded it to children.
Have you easy singles in the fridge?
I don't, but we will try that. We'll get it
next
for our
week.
one. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so that's the news. Yeah.
Basically, what your story is that just a 6-year-old buying a house worth millions, all because of YouTube.
All because of YouTube.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Like she makes 2.4 million a month. I think there must be advertising and everything on YouTube because it's gone out of control the amount of money you can make on YouTube.
I know.
I think we need to get on YouTube.
Yeah. And that was the news.
That was the news. Cheers.
Rob and Rat's weird and wonderful news.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to look a little bit into the world of the paranormal. So paranormal kind of deals really with ghosts and spirits and stuff like that, okay? So in a few minutes, we're going to play an interview. I spoke to a couple of paranormal investigators from Dublin who do it for a living. They go around investigating kind of spooky and stuff like that. But just kind of a bit of a history. So a belief in ghosts has been around pretty much since the beginning of recorded history, and most likely before recorded history, but we don't know about that because it wasn't recorded. Okay?
Yeah.
So for instance, in societies, like information was not always written down. People believed that when a person died, that their soul or spirit could be transferred into like an inanimate object, and this was known as anonism, which means like that, like say
if you died into a lamp.
Well, you could be your spirit goes into the lamp,
yeah.
And then like the lamp might be passed down through the family generation. Like, oh, there's your granny in a lamp, you know.
Yeah.
Or that was what the belief was years ago.
I think it's a way as well. It's a way of kind of dealing with grief,
kind of understanding death and stuff like that. So this is kind of back in the time. So in early pagan beliefs, people thought that ghosts had not passed on to the next world, like that they were stuck between this world and the other world, and they could be heard howling. And they thought about the howling and the noises and stuff like that was because that the ghosts were starving, that they were really hungry because they couldn't eat between these worlds, and they wanted to transfer back into their previous body so they could eat. Which is why they often used to do like animal sacrifices, and these were thought to kind of feed the souls of the ghosts, so that they could kind of feed them, and that it might satisfy them, and then they could kind of pass on. And they'd also then hold like rituals and stuff like that to kind of like to banish the ghosts and spirits from the land of the living. And they used to kind of during times of the funeral, so that someone would die, they'd have a ritual afterwards to kind of banish the soul and make sure that it didn't come back and haunt them, because they were kind of freaked out by it as well.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So obviously when you think of ghosts and like Halloween and stuff like that, you think of like kind of guy in a big sheet or the kind of transparent man. Yeah, you know, the guy you can see through, right? And the whole thing with the people thinking about you can see through it is that one of the thoughts of
transparent.
Yeah, one of the thoughts that this comes from is back again pre-pagan times. The translucent person. It was thought that the soul of a person was like separate to the body, but it lived inside the body. So this was like housing the body for a while. And then like they would have thought that on days, you know, on days when it's really cold and you can see your breath. Yeah. They thought that that was the soul.
Showing itself.
And you could see the soul, right? Yeah. So that was one of the beliefs, and that's why they thought that was kind of transparent.
Yeah,
you could kind of see through the breath.
Kind of
they thought
smoke,
that would kind of the whole thing would come out when the person died.
Yeah.
And that was their belief. And now I suppose that, and you can understand back then that's why they believe it, and that's kind of like, it's like we now look back and think it's kind of a bit daft. But like it's like people used to believe that the sun and the moon were gods, and now kind of you know. But that was the belief back then. When you couldn't understand it, you kind of put the
world was flat.
Yeah, well that's it. Yeah, isn't it?
We'll get into that next week.
Yeah. So places that are haunted are normally associated with like emotions of a ghost past. They're often like kind of the former home of the place where the person died. So aside from like apparitions and stuff, people kind of like traditional signs of like hauntings range from strange noises, lights, even odors or like breezes in the area, or objects moving, or like bells ringing or musical instruments that seem to play like on their own.
Yeah.
These are a lot of the kind of things that get reported. One of the most frequently reported ghost sightings in England dates back to the 16th century. So Anne Boleyn, who was the second wife of Henry VIII, I think.
Yeah. Where did she live?
She was in England. She was she was the mother of Queen Elizabeth I.
Okay.
And she was executed at the Tower of London in May 1536. She was accused of witchcraft. So they used to burn them, and then if they were
there
witch,
was a lot of people got accused of witchcraft.
yeah, it used to be a thing. Women back in the day, if they were annoying you, you know, like,
Witchcraft.
Right, I'll tell them you're a witch.
I'd say that happened.
That definitely happened.
Witchcraft.
Yeah, you're a witch. So So she was executed in 1536, and she was accused of witchcraft, treason, and incest and adultery. So there's a lot of accusations thrown at her.
She's a lich.
But like, of course, that was Henry VIII's second wife. Like, he had a number of wives. So I'm sure, like, for her to go, he wanted to get another wife. So he needs to
could he
come
not
up
have
with
a few wives at a time? No.
Yeah, I think. But he had a number of wives died. Like, there's a rhyme for remembering it. Like, died, beheaded, survived. I don't know what it is, but there's some way. Do you know what? No.
No, I don't. Sorry.
Okay.
I was smiling because I just this image of Henry, but was that his first wife he got killed?
No, that was the second wife.
Okay, second wife. So I can imagine Henry there in bed with his third wife going, "Would you mind if we had sex tonight?" Or go, "Oh, Henry, I'm tired." Witchcraft!
Yeah, witch! She's a witch!
Witchcraft!
He just pulls out the little witch's hat from underneath the bed and goes, "Do you want to wear this?"
yeah.
He goes, "Okay, Henry."
Fine.
God damn it, Henry.
Okay.
But so like she was accused of quite a lot. So that's what was she accused of? She was accused of witchcraft, treason, incest, and adultery. So there's quite a lot there. Anyway, but she is the most reported ghost in England. So sightings of Boleyn's ghost were reported at the Tower, as well as various other locations, including her childhood home, which is Henver Castle in Kent.
Yeah.
So she's one of the kind of most...
Just out of... have you ever yourself experienced anything that you thought when you were younger, God, was that something you can't explain in terms of seeing a ghost or something, what was that figure? Or, have you anything like that?
No, I don't. I really don't.
Okay.
Like, I don't. Like, I spoke to my father about this, and
Yeah.
he said when we moved into like our house when we were young, he was walking up the hill towards the house, and he glanced up towards...
This house?
Yeah, towards the door, and he saw like what he thought was like a monk. Like, you know, like with a big hooded figure standing at the door. But he said this guy was like 6'5", maybe 7 foot tall. And he looked up, and he was like, "What's that?" And he looked down, and he looked up again, and it was gone.
Okay.
But he does remember seeing it there. And then my mother reports looking out the window of this place we were sitting in now, and haven't seen the same figure.
She said that.
Yeah. That's the only time. But myself, I've never had anything that I experienced. Have you?
I haven't. But I heard stories from people. It's a fairly common thing. There's videos online as well that people can look up. Have you seen any of these of presses opening and shutting and and I suppose the worst thing is with videos how can people prove whether it's real or not? But there's been a lot of videos even in shops, CCTV things, and there's some videos you look up and say this is genuine proof of.
Well, one of the so in the interview that's coming up, I speak to some paranormal investigators, and they had an experience in one of the investigations, and they have a video.
Okay.
And that they've sent me.
Can you share that?
I can share that. I'll stick it up on a thing. We can watch it. I'll show it to you.
Yes.
We'll comment on it afterwards.
Talk about it,
but that is one thing. It's a video of a little ball that they placed on a staircase, and they thought there was a child who may have been haunting the staircase, and the ball moved in a strange fashion down the staircase, and they have it on video.
Okay.
So that's something I can show you. But a poll in the USA showed that 42% of Americans actually believe in the existence of ghosts.
Yeah.
Actually do. Then we ran our own Facebook poll just to see what people thought.
Yeah.
Didn't get quite the same amount. 84% of the people on Facebook said they didn't believe in ghosts.
Didn't?
No.
Yeah.
But look, in the past 20 years, reality TV shows showing
it's massive,
paranormal investigations have got really kicked off. Like that Most Haunted was massive, you know, that show.
There's Paranormal Lockdown, there's a load of them.
There's a whole lot. Like paranormal activity stretches back a lot further than the last 20 years. People have been doing it for ages. Like in the 1800s.
How clean is your ghost?
What's that?
That's not actually a one.
What is that?
As the ghost makeover show.
Oh, ghost.
That doesn't
how clean is your ghost? Welcome to the mind of Stephen Rattigan.
Yeah, that doesn't.
Anyway, so in the 1800s, people used to. It was very common for people now have dinner parties and they kind of invite people around.
Yeah.
They used to invite you around for a séance. It would just come to the house because it got very popular. And you do that kind of around the table.
Oh, like Ouija board.
Yeah, well the Ouija board kind of came after that. It's like people would come around the table and they'd hold hands and they try and contact the dead. And, that's the whole thing with the table rising up.
Yeah, I won't be into
and people
that,
moving and all that. No, it kind of
It
died out. No, you wouldn't do it. No.
No, I'd just be too freaked out. Same as the Ouija board. Just because of being younger and hearing stories.
Well, the Ouija board was originally introduced as a toy. It's like a board game. That's where it first came out. Yeah, for kids it came out, and then it got very popular. And then the church kind of frowned upon it a bit and said it was like a taboo. And it kind of went underground a little bit.
Okay, is that no? I just wanted to. Yeah.
Did you worry? But sorry, what happened there was we got a little framed photograph here and it nearly fell. It wasn't ghosts. But,
I was worried.
Yeah, you were worried. But so, and also, if they're going to speak about in this, there's a thing, I don't think we actually explained what it was. So, orbs. Have you heard of orbs?
I've heard of, like shows I would have seen years ago.
So, that's a big
Strange
thing.
but true. Like, people seen orbs.
That seems to be a big thing.
A ball of light.
That seems to be a big thing, is like these, like, orbs that people spot, and they're kind of claiming that they're the ghosts, okay?
Do you know what? Speaking of orbs, in a past podcast, the Alien Investigation, we listened to Flight, them...
Oh, yeah.
That could have been orbs. It was pilots that witnessing some light flying and zooming off in the distance. Could orbs be unidentified flying objects also?
Yeah, if you want to hear about that one, you can check out our previous podcast with the Alien
2.
Investigation.
Yeah.
Alien Investigation. I actually did email, as I said to you, the Irish Aviation Authority on that. They still haven't got back to me. And it says that they normally do get back to you in 15 days, and I haven't heard anything back.
Okay.
So anyway, about orbs. So some ghost hunters claim that circular artifacts appearing in photographs are spirits of the dead, or like paranormal phenomena, right?
A ball of light, basically.
It's a ball of light. But then some other people who are like skeptics and stuff like that say that they're actually a result of flash photography illuminating a little dust particle, and they're especially common with like compact modern digital cameras.
Okay.
So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll get into the interview, and we'll come back and we'll discuss a bit more. What do you think?
Okay, that's
go
fine.
for it. Cool.
I'm here now, and I've got Larry, and Larry's a paranormal investigator. Larry, hello. Thanks for speaking to me.
Hello, Rob. How are you?
Not too bad. I'm good. And you have your nephew with you too there, Alex. Is that correct?
I do. I have Alex here. How are you, Rob?
Good, Alex. Good. I'm looking forward to speaking to you, Alex, because I understand you're into demonology. Is that correct?
Yeah, I study demonology, yeah.
Great, okay. Well, what we're going to do, we'll start off and we'll just kind of talk a little bit about paranormal investigations, and then we'll get into your demonology. So I just wanted to ask kind of like, what got you interested in the paranormal, and why did you become a paranormal investigator?
Yeah, so when, I suppose as a kid growing up, I was always into, say, vampire movies, ghost movies, stuff like that. And then I suppose my first real experience of anything paranormal, I'd say I was about 10 or 11, and my parents brought me to the Hellfire Club in the Wicklow Mountains, and I suppose listening to people talking about the devil and stuff like that, I was really wanted to find out who and ghosts, and I suppose that's really where it started.
Okay, and then from there, so from that interest, from the peak of the interest, how do you go from that to becoming a paranormal investigator? How do you go about it, or what do you do to get this?
Sure. Well, what it was as we got older, then we got more into it, and Alex is my nephew, and his brother Darren, who's also on the team, he's my nephew. So a couple of years ago, they went on paranormal investigations with other teams, and then they came back together. And last November, we were just talking about different experiences that we had with other groups, and we said, why don't we give this a go?
Excellent. So you do it as a family, which is brilliant.
Well, we do it with a family run. There's myself, like my wife Val, my sister Nicola, Darren, that's Alex's nephew, and then we have Kerry as well, who's a niece. So
excellent.
It's a family team.
Where are you based? Are you based in Dublin?
We're based in Dublin, yeah. Yeah, we're all from Dublin.
So you're an investigator. So do you kind of approach something like a detective would? You go in looking for clues and kind of like working out the different areas that kind of, how do you figure out if it's a hoax or if it's something that could be real? What are the clues you look for?
Yeah, well, what we do is we went to a house called Shannon Rectory in Donegal, and the house is supposedly haunted, which we actually think it is. And what we done was we went and set up there all around the house, and what we do, we have and we have a thing called a spirit. What the spirit box does is AM, FM radio frequencies backwards and forwards at a fast rate. So it sounds like white noise.
Right.
You've heard of white noise?
I've heard of white noise, but I don't really know what it is. Can you tell me kind of what that is, or how would that work, or how would that be helpful?
Alex explain, because Alex is a tech guy as well, so he's really good. So let Alex explain that, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
The spirit box is like a radio, where it scans frequencies forward and backwards. And you can set them differently. So you can set we normally do AM forward, FM backwards. So there's a less chance of you getting like radio stations, like local radio stations on it. But the spirits can manipulate the frequencies to put words through. Now, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It kind of depends on the place.
Okay, so it's a medium of communication.
Yeah, like we'd ask out questions, like let's say how many ghosts are in the room, and then sometimes you'll get an answer like 7 or like actual proper answers to our questions, and then sometimes you'll just get words.
Wow. And when you hear words back, does that? How long have you guys been doing this?
We started in November last year.
Okay. And do you get scared when you go in? If you heard, I thought I heard
only
talking through the radio.
We would get frightened. But like Sharon Rectory up in Donegal, that's one place that gets me. Now it's the only place that really does get me. We've been to Left Castle in Offaly, Redwood and Tipperary, and they wouldn't really get to me now as much as that place up there does.
And what is it that gets you? What is it about the place? What do you see?
Whatever entity or spirit is up there is just so powerful and just dark that it just holds you afraid to walk off on your own.
Right. Well, okay. So apart from the spirit box, what are the kind of equipment you guys use to kind of track down?
We use EMF detectors. They're called K2 meters, and those are electromagnetic field and fluctuations in the field. Like that could be put down to manipulation by a spirit, let's say, to where the magnetic field is spiked, is called, where it could go up. We use Ouija boards, thermal imaging, and we use for measuring tests. You have night vision cameras as well.
Wow. Okay. So you're well equipped. So kind of like. Yeah. So do you think when you're communicating with these ghosts and you're hearing different spirits, do you think that they want to hurt people and we should be afraid of them, or what's your view on the spirits?
I think 99% of them just are looking for help or just want to communicate with us. But it's the 1% you really need to look out for, because they're pretty bad. But the other 99% are just genuine lost souls, really.
And is that why they haunt places, you believe, that they're lost souls?
Yeah, well, they normally haunt places where they've lived. Yeah, that'd be a residual haunting, where it would just go about its daily, its business, what it would have done when it's alive.
Okay. And so, have you ever had it, you do house calls as well, if, you know what I mean? Have you ever
we're available to do house calls. We haven't done one yet, but we are available to do house calls.
And how would something like that work? Would you go in and try and drive out the ghost, or would you get a priest involved?
We'd have to assess it first. We'd have to go in and ask about the history of the house and what type of experiences are happening, and try to see what type of haunting it is. If it's a bad, if it's in the residual haunting, there's not really much you can do about it. But,
okay.
If it's a demonic haunting or something darker, then we will bring in a medium that we work with. She'll come in and try and see what it wants, and then from there we go further.
And how do you figure out what type of haunting it is?
There's tales that each one have, they'll probably come towards you as in someone you know, a loved one. They'll try and trick you. They mimic noises. They come across as children and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. So have you seen without the use of equipment, have you seen anything in a visual form?
Yeah, I've seen something in left and Offaly, and up in a couple of shadows, but nothing too
you know, the traditional kind of like transparent man or thing in a sheet. Is that like? Is there any kind of like? Is it more noises and movements and stuff like that, or have people seen kind of almost a see-through person?
Yeah, I'll let Larry answer that question.
Right.
Yeah, very well. Yeah, a lot of what we see is shadows, like dark shadows, or maybe like a misting in the distance, but the cameras can pick up anything like that. So what you might see down a hallway is clear, and then a few minutes later you'll see this like a mist travelling, or it could be like an orb. It's a small round bright circle.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've seen it on people's shows before. Yeah,
and we've had some really good successes as well. You know, so we have been on FM 104. Yeah, FM 104, and we were on In the Mirror actually online, because we were in Shannon Rectory. Myself and Alex set up a triggered object. So triggered objects are, you could use a ball, marbles, and it's just to see if the spirit can move them. So what we done was we set the ball up on the stairways at the top of the stairs in Shannon Rectory, where it was supposed to be the spirit of a child wanders the hallway up there and up and down the stairs. So we bought a child's small ball, about the size of a tennis ball, and we set it up on the top of the stairs. And what we done was, I went up and I set it in. There was like the gap between the floorboards, a hollow, so it couldn't actually move. And we had some members of the public there with us, because we could bring public people with us as well. There's a lot of people interested, wonder what's going on, so we have public nights where...
Yeah, there's a huge interest. That's kind of why I wanted to talk to you about it, really, because it's the thing people always wonder about, so, yeah.
Yeah, there's a huge interest.
Yeah.
And so we set up the ball anyway, and the public people that were there with us, we brought them up and down the stairs. 15 people passed that ball, and they asked us, what's the ball for? So I told them we're trying to attempt to draw the child spirit out, see what happens. So we always use night vision cameras, and we have them rigged up to a screen. So we always get someone to sit at the television screen, and what we do is we ask them to note the times that they see anything strange. And people love that. They just sit at the monitor and they'll write down, so something happens at 9 o'clock, they'll put 9 o'clock, 10 past 9, whatever it is, and it goes. And what we do is then, when we're finished the investigation, then Alex, what he'll do is trawl through all the footage, and we'll go to the times that people thought they seen something strange. So what happened was, we set the ball up, 15 people passed up and down by that ball on the stairs, and it never moved. We explained to the people what it was for. We took a break from investigating around the house, went to the kitchen for tea, and as I turned me back to get myself a cup of tea, I heard everyone shouting. When I turned around, I said, what's wrong? He said, the ball's come down the stairs. So we rewound it, and there it was. You could see it, and just before the ball falls, at the bottom of the stairs, you see this little bright orb that goes across the bottom of the stairs, and at the same time that appears, the ball bounces down the stairs, but it didn't bounce like it should. It should have bounced straight down in the line, but the ball actually bounces out to the middle of the stairs and then back in against the wall and straight down. So, like, there was no reason for the ball to actually go back in. It should have actually went straight down. So, we set the ball back up again, and when we were up there, myself and Alex resetting the ball. Alex was rubbing his leg, and I was saying to him, will you put the torch back on? And he says, oh, there's something touching my leg. But there was nothing there. But the people, when we went back to the kitchen, they said there was a bright orb moving up and down Alex's leg, so he could feel that. So we've had a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah. For me, if I thought there was a ghost in my leg, I'd probably be petrified. You know, when you're in that moment, does it scare you, or do you not?
Yeah, no. In that moment, you can be. When we reset the ball and we were coming back down the stairs, we were nervous, and I was watching up in front of me, and we have a video. It's actually up online, and you can see me backing down the stairs, but I'm looking in front of me because I keep expecting something to appear at the top of the stairs. And when we got down to the bottom of the stairs, then we heard this, like a growl, and we just took off running. And that's the first time that's ever happened to us. And we were actually blind, and the house, for us, it's so scary that we actually, like as a family, a couple of other groups think we get good results because we're actually a family and that all our energies are together.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
We wouldn't share that. In that house, we will not go. In Leith Castle, we can go, one person go and set up something else, but in this house, we will not let one, none of us will separate. There's always two, because that fear is there. That I don't know what it is.
Okay, so we're just going to pause the interview there for a second, because we're just going to, it's a long one, it's about 30 minutes, so we're just going to take a break through.
We'll go back to it anyway.
Yeah, because it makes it easier to break it down a little bit. And we have just watched the video of the ball coming down the stairs.
Yeah, I saw the video. It's hard to know what to make. We will also post this video online. Basically, it shows the little small ball at the top of the stairs, and all of a sudden it just seems to nudge forward and kind of fall down the stairs.
Because a strange trajectory as it kind of jumps down the stairs.
Yeah, you can see that on our pages.
Yeah, and there's lots of what would be described as orbs floating around.
To me, it looked like dust, but I'm not saying I wasn't there. I can't.
But that
count.
is what people kind of think. I don't know. There is the whole thing. Is it dust particles or is it?
Yeah, and I know, like the lad said there, when they go to places, they do the whole radio. Like, I don't fully understand it all, but they do the whole radio thing where they reverse the white noise.
So basically, what they're doing there is, so they go to like stations where there are no radio stations on. So they go to AM. And they go through all the stations, and what they're looking for is, they reckon sometimes that spirits may be able to interfere with the radio waves.
Yeah.
And contact through that. That's what the whole thing about white noise.
So they reckon, like, if they say,
so they're scanning through.
Yeah, if they're in a room and they're like, "Is there anyone here?" They'll scan through and they're waiting to kind of hear it.
Some sort of noise.
Yes, or something.
Welcome
to
Ghost Radio.
Through the white noise.
Yeah. So that's the idea of it, and then they use, like as I said, thermal vision cameras. They use they look for electro noises. There's all sorts of different tools and techniques that they use. They use a Ouija board. Just any way to try and contact. And they reckon that they have had contact and they have spoken to people.
Yeah, like I know they have said they've seen shadows and things like that. No kind of clear, I suppose our view of a ghost, which would be, the
transparent,
see-through transparent thing. But yeah, look, it's interesting.
And they're a family. They do it together, and they reckon. I can kind of understand that a little bit, where they're saying that they feel that, as a group of people who are all connected, they have a kind of energy.
More of an energy, perhaps, yeah.
And that's what they reckon. They like to use that. They like to be in. They do things together as a family.
My thing as well, right? When we talked about in the first episode Bigfoot, and people get out squatching, that's people who are looking for Bigfoot and they go out camping. Is this another kind of form of? It's something to do together. That's a bit of a buzz, Is it? It's
I'm sure they do enjoy it, but they definitely, like as you see here, like in the video that we post, there are other people. There
is a lot of interest.
There's a big interest in it.
Yeah.
Like it's a job for these guys, and it's
and a hobby,
and something they believe in, and something that like they've invited us along to one of their nights.
Yeah, which would be good to go and see.
I think it'd be great, because I'm quite skeptical, but I'd be going there with the mind, okay, look, let me see what's happening. Maybe because I'd love to be proved wrong.
I'm a bit skeptical as well, but you know what? As well, at the same time, if I saw or witnessed anything, it'd freak me out.
Yeah, you believe in ghosts, don't you?
To be honest, I'm on the fence. I don't not believe at all.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah,
I kind of.
You've never seen anything to kind of.
I've never seen anything, but I believe more in ghosts than I would in perhaps Bigfoot. I'm not sure.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
The ghost of Bigfoot.
Yes.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Should we play the remaining part?
Right, we'll go back to the interview, and we'll be back in about 15 minutes. This is the rest of the interview with the paranormal investigators.
And would you ever be afraid of, if you came across, as you said, there could be that 1% of a very evil spirit, you'd never be afraid of that entering your life or following you out of there or anything like that, no?
No, I wouldn't be worried. I'm not house, but my wishes in, say, Leith Castle, to be walking up the spiral stone staircase, and as I turn the corner, there's a ghost in front. That'd be my dream, but it's never happened. And people also, during the night when we're having the investigations, we take breaks because we have seances, stuff like that, and what we do is you do have to take a break after at least an hour for 15-20 minutes, because their energy is so high that actually to get tired. So we take that break, we have tea, biscuits, and we talk to people. People ask us about our experience, and people have asked me, have you ever seen a ghost? And I could easily say, oh yeah, I've seen one here, I've seen one there, but I'm honest with them, I've never seen a ghost. Yeah. And that's why we're investigators, because we're trying to find them.
You're trying to find the truth. Well, that's the thing about being an investigator. You're a detective. You're looking for the truth. You're looking for the kind of... So have you gone to places where you've heard of that there could be stuff, but then through your investigation you found out that it's that bad plumbing or that there's some other reason? Or
yeah, sure. We went to Limavady Workhouse up in Coleraine there about 10 weeks ago, and we went up there, but it was supposed to be haunted, and it was actually an old workhouse where poor people went when they were turned out of their houses, whatever, and the British would take them in because the British had such a bad name. They opened up this and they take in poor Irish people. But what they would do is they'd split the family up. There was a part for boys, girls, mothers, fathers. So the whole family would be split up and they'd never see each other. And the idea was to get you out as quick as you could. So obviously what would happen is the mother would be missing her kids and then organise to meet the husband, say, no, we're going, and you'd be out. So we were there looking for spirits of people who had died there because there's supposed to be over 1,000 bodies buried.
Well, that does sound like a crime kind of place for it, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, and we were there and we actually found nothing, absolutely nothing at all. Just the only feeling we had was just of overwhelming sadness, a heavy feeling there. But that was it. Yeah, exactly. And then also we were in. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, we are honest investigators, and we wouldn't do that. But we were in Redwood Castle in February. And
where is Redwood Castle?
Redwood Castle is in Tipperary.
Okay.
So we were there and we set up all our cameras and, we went live so people were looking in, and you can go live sometimes depending on the signal in the different areas and castles or whatever. So we went live and this girl contacted us and said, I can see a ghost in the banquet room. It's in the corner, looks like a monk. So myself and Darren went to investigate it. So we went to the banquet room. What it actually was, on the lion walls, it was a stain in the corner, but the stain was in the shape, it looked like the shape of a hooded figure. Okay. But we actually said, no, it isn't. It's a damp stain on the wall. But we could have easily turned around and said, oh yeah, it's a monk, whatever. We're looking for the truth.
Absolutely.
And that's
what is the most common kind of report that you get from people? What's it like a common kind of story? If you get that kind of rings bells in your head and go, that sounds like that sounds like there's something there. What are the keys that you look for?
Orbs mostly is, people would be in the home and they'd see, an orb passing by them. And mostly orbs, I'd say, is a lot. Sounds. We had one girl that was actually contacted us from Australia, and she told, obviously we can't say who she is because anyone that contacts us is obviously private. So she sent us a photograph of her niece, and she was very gaunt, and she said to us that the young girl kept hearing footsteps outside her room, and she thought she kept glimpsing the figure of a young child. So the father, he said, it turned out it was happening like at 2 o'clock in the morning every morning. So the father stood up. Now he said seen nothing, only the one thing when he was sitting on the top of the stairs, he seen this orb coming towards him, and then the orb disappeared into the niece's room. But that's it, we just told him to contact a medium, because there is some things that we can't control.
Is that the kind of next call that is that your go-to thing? If someone thinks they have something in their home, someone's listening now and they think, oh, I think I've had something like that happen in my house, what do they do? What would be your advice?
Sorry, could you say that again? Just breaking up there.
If somebody is at home listening to this now and they think some of those things, relate to them, and they might think that they have something living in their house, what would you advise them to do? Do they come and contact you? What would be the best thing for them to do?
Exactly. As Alex said, they can contact us and give us all the details, and we'll take it down, go through the history, see what kind of a haunting it is, and if we think it's something that's out of control, or let's say out of knowledge, that there is one or two mediums that we work with, and we can pass the people onto the medium, because some houses, there's nothing we could do about it. Like, there's no way we could tell. We could go there and get all the facts and the information and the evidence on camera, but we wouldn't be able to move a spirit on. That would be a medium would have to do it.
You'd verify the presence of it, and then
exactly.
Okay.
And we do work with a couple of mediums, so. Yeah.
And are there certain times of the year, like it's Halloween, does it make a difference? Is Halloween, is it a time where there's more spirits about?
No, that's all just old wives' tales. Like, hauntings aren't at night time either. Like, hauntings can be during the day, and we went out during the day looking, and the only reason that it's done at night investigations is because you can see that you can actually see them sometimes with the naked eye, or as we said, we use night vision cameras, and if the evidence is there, because it's dark, it's easier to see shadows, or it's easier to see orbs. And that's what, like, people just think, oh, why do you do it at night? Well, we don't always do it at night. We can get, like, if someone rang us up today and said, I think the house is haunted, can you come over? We would go over if it was 12 o'clock in the day, because hauntings that they don't start at midnight or anything like that.
What about the banshee? Is that a real thing?
The banshee, I've never come across one, but I've heard the stories of them, but no, there's no evidence that it exists. A lot of people say they hear them crying, but it's actually, if you get down to it, it's actually usually cats. Right. You know, when you get cats crying during the night. But then, I'm not saying that they don't exist, because I wouldn't do that either.
Yeah, you've never seen them or have any evidence of them.
Exactly, and like, people will contact us privately through the page, and we'll answer everybody. We wouldn't turn anyone away, because whatever the fear is, it may not be fearful to us, but it's a genuine fear for them. So we will give them advice, and we don't have a problem. But it's investigation. That's the only way I'm going to find the truth.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's brilliant. Yeah, you know? That's excellent. Yeah. And so I suppose yes, go on.
No, I was just going to say, there's no point in fooling the public. And that's what we've got in Leith Castle. We've had public people with us, and they think we're great. I'm not just bragging about us, but they think we're great because we're honest with them. They ask us.
You do these often, do you? Like, if people wanted to come along on these nights out, how often do they go on?
We usually do probably once a month, and we'll do investigations just on ourselves, the teams, just on our own, but every 6 weeks we'll advertise on our page that we're going to Leith Castle or somewhere else, and there'll be spaces available for people if they want to come with us to have the experience. And some people come as non-believers, and by the time they go home, sometimes they believe, sometimes better off than when they started, you know, whether they believe or not. But the thing is, you have to keep it open.
You've got to keep your mind open.
Yeah, and exactly, it all depends on the night. We usually bring about 15 people with us, and the team there's 6 of us in the team. And what we'll do is we'll bring everyone, and we'll tell them truthfully that whatever happens on the night happens. We can't make anything happen. You know, we're not here to set up, rig up things, to move, you know, boxes to fall off. That's not what we do. Whatever happens on the night, we tell people that's what we'll see. Whatever they see, we see.
Excellent. That's excellent. So I suppose if Alex maybe wanted to tell me just a little bit about demonology, because it's something I'm not aware of, and I'm sure anyone that
no problem. Yeah, here he is now. Thanks, Rob.
No problem. Thank you very much, Larry.
Hi, Rob.
So So I suppose if you could just start by maybe just telling me what is demonology and how do you go about learning about it and what is it?
Demonology is the study of demons and belief in the demonic. And if you're looking about studying it, there's no regular courses for it, like in, let's say, the normal college or third level education. But if you're you have to go about on your own, maybe put like books more so. There's a lot of reading involved in it, because it's so vast, like the information you can learn about it.
If I was to think of a demon, I suppose I'm thinking of like kind of a little horned devil. Is that right? That kind of like cloven feet?
Well, they come in all different shapes and sizes, but you won't see them as that. If you were to see one, you'll see it as like they'll play on your emotions, they'll manifest as kids because people are more like they have sympathy for children, because as people are with children, like they'd be more sympathetic towards kids, so it'd be easier for them to get closer to you.
So they'd appear in the form of a child.
Yeah.
Okay. And what do they want? Or what are they doing? Because you often hear about someone who's got demons in them. A demon is generally seen as a bad thing. Are all demons bad?
Yeah, they're kind of just torments. You know what I mean? They want, like, their main thing is to get your soul. I know, like, you hear that in like TV and all and films, but that is literally what they want. They feed off you emotionally and then eventually physically. They break you down until possession, like.
And then when they possess you, what is it? They just live through you, or are you going to die?
It's just a complete control of your physical body, like. Okay. They can control what you do and stop you from eating and stuff like that.
And have you ever come across anything that you think maybe?
Not yet, but I think I don't want to say it, but I think there's one up in Sharon actually, because whatever it is up there, it's really dark.
That place is giving you the chills.
Yeah, and like I've actually been attacked. Me and me Auntie Val were attacked up there.
Do you want to tell me about that?
So he was cleansing the people after the last seance, and
you were what?
Sorry?
You were doing what after the seance? Sorry?
I was cleansing them with sage.
Okay. What does the sage do? Or why would you use sage?
It just kind of cleans our energy and.
Okay.
It's like a blessing, but without holy water. It's similar to a blessing, like.
Okay. Okay.
So I was doing that, and I was like, I'm gonna walk through the house and clear it, so like the people can go to bed because they live in the house.
Right.
And as I got to the kitchen, I closed the kitchen door, and I saged the door, and I said, whatever's out there, don't follow your bard, like type thing. And then as I turned, I felt as if a hot poker had been stabbed into my eyes, and I went, oh, what was that? And as I looked up, my eyes back. Like, as in, like, something punched me, like, and everyone in the room seen it, and then we were driving home then, and then Val's eye was really bloodshot on the side, which I don't understand how that would even happen. Yeah.
Okay. And that happened, so that would kind of put me off wanting to go back to him if it happened to me again. Would that put you off going back there?
Sorry?
Would that put you off going back to that place again?
Oh, sure. Like, that happened in February, and we went back in April because I wanted clarification. I wanted a reason why it did it. Yeah. And we love going to the place, even though it terrifies us. We love going, and we've actually booked 2 more dates now for the rest of the year.
Okay. Okay. Well, look, thanks so much for talking to me today, because it's been an eye opener. I wasn't even aware that this kind of stuff was going on in Ireland, so it's fantastic. Do you want to give me just kind of your contact details if people want to get in contact with you?
On Facebook, yes, on Facebook, we're Paranormal Investigators Ireland.
Okay.
On our page, you'll get everything you need about us, our contact details, like our email address and stuff like that.
And you're available for home calls, and you also do
literally anything got to do with the paranormal, we're available.
That's fantastic. Okay. Well, look, thank you very much for talking to me today. That's been great. That's been Alex and Larry.
Yeah.
That's grand, lad. So I'll just finish it on that. Thank you very much for that, lad. That was brilliant.
Okay. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Ron. Thank you.
So what I'll do is I'll send you a little message when we have it up. And on our social media, then we'll share links to your page and to. Did you see the video of that thing with the ball?
Yeah. It's on our. It's on our page, and it's on. Have we got it?
Yeah, it is on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube, and then the Mirror Online actually put it up.
Yeah, well, okay, well, I'll have a look on your page for it. So maybe if you got a chance, you might send it to me a messenger, and I'll stick it up on our social media as well, just to get a bit of a promo when we're doing it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we do that.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks very much for talking to me today, lad, and I'll be chatting to you soon, all right?
All right, thanks very much, Rob. Thanks for the opportunity to do this.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, bye.
Okay, and we're back. So that was the end of the interview there with the Paranormal Investigation team, and they are Paranormal Investigation Ireland. You get them on Facebook,
yeah.
And they are ready and able to come to your house or anywhere else.
What I liked about them anyway is they're honest. Do you know what I mean? That's one thing they did say. They're not going to go to a place like even the woman who claimed she saw Smudge that looked like a monk.
Yeah.
They don't play on that and go, "Oh, you're right, I see something there."
No, they're like, as I said at the start of the very
That's what I like
they're
about
detectives, so they're out there looking for the truth. If there is nothing there, they're not going to make it up. They seem like genuine guys. They're not out there. They're not putting on like a ghost house where like things pop out and stuff like that. Like as I said, sometimes you go and nothing happens.
I watched something there the last day, just when we were doing this episode, Paranormal Lockdown. It was called, a TV show.
Okay.
They went to some old prison, and it's where they stay in the prison for 72 hours or something and bring their footage on. But there was things banging, voices, noises. Like, how is there that much activity going on? And it makes you wonder: is it set up for television? You don't know. Like,
well, of course, the only thing would be if it was on the telly and nothing was happening.
No one would
really
watch
it.
Yeah,
they need to pump it up. But I think these guys, they don't always bring the public. They'll actually just.
And I like the way they invite the
it's
public.
something. Sometimes they just go for themselves. They have a real interest in it. They go with the family and they go and investigate the paranormal, and they just happen then to share this information. They're not out there trying to.
Fair
so I think they seem like genuinely honest guys.
Yeah,
and
they're not out for fame and things like that.
And it's something that they're really interested in. So that's the Paranormal Investigators Ireland. And if you're interested in talking to them, just get onto Facebook, drop them a message. They got back to me very quick. They're
good at getting back to you.
They're well able and they're interested. And as I said, they'll listen to any story and then they'll go and investigate themselves. So that's it. So I have a little bit more, right, of stuff that I just wanted to talk about. So
the paranormal.
The paranormal, yeah. So we've got there's celebrity ghost stories, basically, right? So these are like kind of celebrities that claim to have.
I believe that's actually a TV show as well, Celebrity Ghost Stories.
Is it?
On the E! Channel or something like that, I think so.
Okay, well this is just some stories from like people who kind of claim to have seen ghosts or have something to do with ghosts. Okay, so I was trying to look for kind of like half kind of credible ones, but it's difficult for me because I'm a little bit skeptic. But these are Kate Hudson.
Yeah.
See the actress, right?
What was she in? Do you know?
I don't know. Kate
Hudson.
Hudson.
Yeah, blonde.
Her mother is Goldie Hawn.
Oh yeah.
Right. So she was on Chatty Man, which is I think Alan Carr.
Alan Carr, good show. Yeah.
So in 2014, and she said that she basically herself and her mother have seen dead people. She said it's not really seeing; it's like a feeling of a spirit. She said a fifth energy. I believe in energy. I believe our brains can manifest into visual things. The actress added that she once saw a ghost of a woman with no face, and then she shared some tips for dealing with ghostly situations. She said if you see something, you're supposed to tell the energy what year it is and that they don't belong there.
And they just go off then, like,
head off,
as if the energy be like, oh,
what year is it? 2019. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
I need to go to heaven.
Yeah.
And then Jessica Alba. You know who she is?
No.
You don't know who she is?
I know the name.
She's a very attractive woman. She was in Sin City.
Oh, yeah.
You know her?
Yeah.
I know you know her, yeah. So she had a terrifying experience as a child. She said, I had no idea what it was. I felt this pressure and I couldn't get up, I couldn't scream, I couldn't talk, I couldn't do anything. She said something definitely took the covers off me and I couldn't get off the bed. And then once I did, I screamed, I ran to my parents' room, and she said she doesn't think she spent many nights in the house again after that. There was definitely something in my parents' old house. I don't know what it was, I can't really explain it, but they got it blessed and burnt some sage and stuff since then.
Did she say sage?
Sage as well. I'd never heard of it, but the guy there in the interview...
is sage a herb for cooking?
Yeah, it's a herb, but it must be like something to get rid of. I think it's like
what that sounds like to me is sleep paralysis. You know what sleep paralysis?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Because she couldn't move, she was in the bed.
Yeah, I know, it's exactly.
Sleep paralysis is very common.
That's what I thought myself.
Yeah.
Too.
And maybe she's just
speaking of the interview a minute ago, I meant to say, so I need to apologise on the audio point of that.
The audio is not
You can
great.
hear the guys, you can't hear me great. We're still this is like episode 6. We are still figuring out the audio. The first number of podcasts we did, the audio wasn't great. We've now trying to hopefully fix that with the microphone situation, but we're still figuring out little bits here.
I suppose it's hard with interviews because we're not going on location interviewing people. We interview people from all over the world, America and places, so we can't physically go to America.
And then once you can't really tell the quality until the interview is over, and you kind of sometimes only get the chance to do it once. So apologies.
And we're doing our best to work with.
But we're as we go, things are going to get better, and you can help us get better by liking and sharing our stuff, because the more people that listen, the more effort we can put into getting the stuff to work and everything.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, so a few more celebrity stories, okay? I got a couple more here. I had one that I thought was slightly more interesting. So, Emma Stone.
I know Emma Stone, yeah. Super bad. And
yep, that's the one. So she revealed that she has ongoing, beyond the grave, interaction with her late grandfather.
Okay.
So, she said there's a long family history with quarters being the coin in America, the little quarters. Like
I know,
yeah. Okay. And she said her grandfather leaves quarters around the house. She said it's him. It's absolutely him. She said she never met her grandfather. He had passed away before she was born. But she said that she simply knows that the phantom coins coming around the house are from him. She said it's not logical, it's magical.
Okay, that sounds, no.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Ariana Grande, the singer.
Yeah, Ariana Grande.
Yeah, I don't like. So she said that she was asked if she believes in ghosts and aliens, and she said, of course. She said, I've had a ghost demon experience. We were in Kansas City a few weeks ago and went to a haunted castle. We were so excited. The next night we wanted to go to Stull Cemetery, which is known for one of the 7 gates to hell. She said, I felt sick, overwhelming fear of negativity over the whole car, and we smelled sulphur, which is a sign of a demon. And there was a fly in the car randomly, which apparently is another sign of a demon.
In the car?
Yeah.
So there's always flies in the car in
Apparently
summertime.
Demons,
yeah.
She said, she said, I don't like it, this is scary, let's leave. I rolled down the window before we left and said, we apologise, we didn't mean to disrupt your peace. Then I took a picture, and there were 3 super distinct faces in the picture, and they're faces of textbook demons.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's quite a lot. I had one more, which is Keanu Reeves.
I like Keanu Reeves. I like Keanu.
I think everyone likes Keanu Reeves. Yeah. He's a likeable guy. So Reeves claimed that he saw a ghost as a child when he was living in New York City. He said he was probably about 6 or 7 years old. We'd come from Australia, and our nanny was in the bedroom, and my sister was asleep. She was sitting over there. I'm hanging out, and there was a doorway, and all of a sudden this jacket comes waving through the doorway. This empty jacket. There's nobody there. There's no legs. It's just there, and then it disappeared. He was telling the story on Jimmy Kimmel, and he said, I was a little kid and I thought, okay, that's interesting, and I looked over at the nanny and she was making this terrible face, and I'm like, oh wow, so that was real.
Yeah, so she also saw what he saw.
This jacket flying around the room.
I actually have a story, like, just to do, my brother was away for a weekend with his girlfriend in Ireland somewhere. Now I can't give you the name of the place they were in, but it's meant to be kind of haunted location, known for a few things happen, and he doesn't believe in anything like that. During they went to bed as normal. The following morning, he actually had scratch marks, fairly strong across his back. Like I know what that sounds like.
Yeah. So
but he was like, "What the hell is this?" And even his girlfriend was like, "God, that is insane." It wasn't from anything kinky.
Are you sure?
But, yeah,
okay, sure. Okay, well, anyway, so we've heard from paranormal investigators, right? They're the guys who they believe in it, right?
Yes.
They do believe in ghosts and they believe in the orbs and stuff like that. So on the other hand, trying to balance things out, I'm going to just hear. So this is like what a scientist had to say. Have you heard of like Professor Brian Cox?
No.
He's the kind of guy that he shows. Like,
he's the astrology guy. He does all the. Yeah, I know.
So he kind of makes like he's the science guy. He can explain how the universe works to normal people like me and you, right?
Yeah.
Basically, right.
Well,
me, but okay, us. So he's kind of busted the myth on this. So it looks like he's like. So basically, what he's saying that is he works in a. Have you heard of the Large Hadron Collider, which is like that big underground thing on the French-Swiss border?
I haven't.
You haven't?
Just
okay,
being honest.
Okay, well there you go. So the LHC, or the Large Hadron Collider, is the largest and most powerful particle accelerator that humanity has ever built.
Okay.
It's a big ring.
Yeah.
And it's 27 kilometers long. That's 16 miles for our friends in the US and the UK.
Okay.
And all along are superconducting magnets and accelerating structures specifically built to boost the energy of particles that scientists hope to study.
Okay.
Right? So within the accelerator, 2 high-energy beams are forced to collide from opposite directions at speeds close to the speed of light.
Okay.
The speed of light is fast.
Yeah.
Right? But they're as close as they can get to it. So a good analogy for this would be like firing 2 needles, like 10 kilometers apart, and they're going to like precisely meet and hit each other head on.
Okay.
And what they're trying to recreate here is the Big Bang, and basically what happened at the Big Bang. So that explosion of...
Is this happening all the time?
They're doing it. That's like, it's down underground. It's huge. It costs like billions to make it.
Yeah.
And that's where he works.
And probably to run it.
Yeah. So there's over 10,000 scientists and engineers from over 100 countries working together at the structure below. The
But what if they
French-Swiss
do
border.
recreate it? Is that not dangerous to be down there with
People were
it?
worried about it at the start, but I suppose I think these guys kind of know what they're doing.
They know what they're
So
at.
they test different properties of elementary particles, and thus far have learned about particle decay, found hints of new particles, and re-examined what we know about the Big Bang. And it's from this evidence and research that Brian Cox believes that he can dismiss the existence of the paranormal completely. Right?
Okay.
So he was on BBC Radio 4, and this is what he said. Now, he speaks in ways that are kind of difficult to understand, so I'll tell you what he said. And then
He's a very easy listen to voice.
He speaks in a kind of it. No, I can't.
Yeah, that's Australian.
English. And all right, mate. Nah,
Yeah.
Anyway, it's an English accent. It's all this, but I won't do it because
Yeah.
I'll read it in my own accent.
Yeah.
So he said, if we want some sort of pattern that carries information about living cells to persist, then we must precisely understand what medium carries this pattern and how it interacts with matter particles out of which our bodies are made. Do you understand what that means? So basically, all the stuff that makes up our body, we need to understand how these react when they collide.
Yes.
So we must, in other words, invent an extension of the standard model of particle physics that has escaped the detection of the Large Hadron Collider that's almost inconceivable at the energy scales typical of the particle interactions in our body. So basically what he's saying is they're testing every particle and everything that we were made up of.
Yeah.
And they have seen no reason to believe.
Well,
basically what he's saying is, like, when they're down there, they should see evidence. If they're using all the particles, they're firing them, they're really examining all the particles in the world. Like, you can see the orbs and stuff. They're saying, like, they should see it. They should know.
Down there because they're looking into everything.
Yeah. And so he's on a show with Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's another astrophysicist. And he said, if I understand what you just declared, you asserted that CERN, which is the Centre for Nuclear Research, disproved the existence of ghosts. And Cox replied simply, yes.
Okay.
So Cox's point relies heavily on the Large Hadron Collider's ability to pick up the tiniest bursts of energy found in particle collisions. That means any energy signals detected from paranormal entities should be easy to detect. Thus far, no evidence has been found. So he's basically saying no evidence
exists.
No ghosts.
Yeah.
That's basically what he's saying. Does that mean for sure that ghosts don't exist? No. It just means from a scientific point of view, they can't prove it. And if they can't prove it, they can't say it exists. But that's quite long-winded, I know. It is
long-winded, yeah. But look, who knows? It's like everything we've looked at here. We can't give definitive answers, but we look into what we can.
Yeah, and I suppose it's up for you then to just kind of make your own minds up. But I think I would be interested for us to go along. We've been invited along to this Paranormal Night. Next time they have one of these things, the Paranormal Investigator
and see what
us along.
Comes up, like. But Joe, saying that, like, Joe, if I was driving through, I don't know, the middle of nowhere, the car broke down, and I had to walk for miles through forestry and came across an old house or something. You know, I don't. There's things that still freak you out, even as an adult.
Do you think that you're spooked out because
it's you're spooking yourself?
Yeah,
out.
but why? Because of like stuff you've seen on the telly,
exactly,
and films. Like, if they never existed, do you think?
That's a good question. If there was no such thing as a horror genre, a scary story, something like that, would you be afraid? Possibly, I think.
You're always afraid of like noises and the unknown and stuff like that. But I think yeah, it's like what those guys were talking about. Like, they're saying they're going into places where your man said he got poked in the eye by a demon. Like, I wouldn't go back there again.
Yeah,
they seem to be.
But see, they get a buzz off that. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, if they do hear something, feel something, kind of, pushes them one step closer to what they do believe in.
Yeah, you can actually see in the video that we're going to post that has the video of the ball moving down the stairs. If you're further on in that video, there is the guy's he's got a black eye and then the bloodshot eye of the
to check out for yourselves.
You can check it out and let us know what you think. So I suppose that concludes our
paranormal episode.
Yeah.
And look, it's been good. Thanks for coming on this journey with us yet again in our 6th episode.
Episode 6. Yeah. So if you liked what you heard, don't forget to get on social media, give us a like, give us a share, and also get onto our platforms and follow us. Please do give us a subscribe, give us a rating.
Thanks for all the support so far.
Yeah, it's been great because we are like the listenership is growing and it's down to you.
It's a positive thing. Yeah. And thanks, Willie. Just make in to close the show.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Coming up on our next episode, we're going to be looking into some more World of Paranormal, but this time we're going to go and speak to a psychic medium. And
mediums and psychics.
Yeah, so
and explore that world. Yeah. That's episode 7.
Yep. So join us for that. So that's me signing off. Rob,
Rat,
And this has been Rob and Rat's World of Wonder podcast.
Bye.
You have been listening to the Rob Rat Podcast. Be sure to check out our social media for updates on the next episode. And if you liked what you heard, then let us know by hitting the subscribe button, sending us a message, and telling a friend, because that's how the podcast grows. Thanks for listening.